So thank you for joining the Washtenaw County Road Commission's virtual construction information meeting about the resurfacing project that we have planned on Textile Road between Crane Road and Rossonville Road in both Pittsfield and Ypsilanti Townships. My name is Emma, and I am WCRC's Communications Associate, and I will be the meeting host today along with our project managers. This morning, I'm going to go over some housekeeping items before turning it over to staff for the presentation about the project, and then we're going to open up the meeting for your questions. Joining me in today's meeting is Project Manager Mike Bernbeck, as well as Senior Project Manager Aaron Burkholz. The meeting audio and video is being recorded and will be posted to the project webpage on wcroads.org in the next day or two, give or take. After the presentation, you will be asked to virtually raise your hand during the question and answer period. I will provide you instructions on how to do that during that time from either your computer, the Zoom app, or your touch-tone phone. The chat feature for this meeting is turned on, so if you have a question during the presentation, definitely feel free to ask it in the chat and we will address it during the Q&A. You can find the chat window at the bottom of your screen. Okay, the floor is yours, Mike.
Good morning. I'm Mike Bernbeck. I'm the project manager for the countywide HMA hot mix asphalt resurfacing projects in the county. Our contract is based on the millage program that people voted on 4.5 years ago with direct specific roads and road segments that we were going to tackle in each calendar year. This year happens to be the year that we are taking resurfacing to Textile Road. And as Emma said, it's from Rossonville Road to Crane. The millage documents that actually take us to Carpenter, but because of the Pittsfield Township sanitary sewer project and from Crane to Carpenter, we will be, and that's a rebuild of the road. We're going to stop short of that. So we are currently, I use the next one for what we're doing. So this was programmed as a HMA resurfacing with a milling of the existing surface. So here's an example of what the surface looked like. We began milling on Monday or last week, Thursday and Friday at Rossonville Road. And prior to that, our forces, Washtenaw County Road Commission forces, trimmed up the trees. We did some berming of the edge of the road and some drainage work. We are now in the mill and resurface program portion of that project. And then we have where we need aggregate shoulders, we will be placing new aggregate shoulders and then pavements markings. The basis for the funding for this project is through the countywide millage program, as well as additional money that is provided through our Michigan Transportation Fund to cover the estimated cost of $1.3 million. This project is going to take a while because we do have two sections of road, one between Bridge and Huron River Drive and Stony Creek over to Crane, that Detroit Edison Gas is upgrading their service equipment. And so we have the road commission gave them a permit to do their work. And so we are skipping those areas to avoid congestion of our two construction projects. So we're doing some of this right now. We'll be back to do some a little later on as well. So you can see the areas marked out that we're working to work in between and around to allow the other service providers opportunity to work and upgrade their systems as well. So that's why we're doing we're piecemealing this project. So right now we are working on we paved the section number 1 yesterday, and we started a little bit in section 2 yesterday to finish out today, and we are currently working on section number 2 right now that goes to Whitaker Road. And we hope to get to Whitaker Road by the end of the day tomorrow. So we have 2 more days. We have today and tomorrow to finish up placement of the new aggregate or asphalt surface. We are doing this under a flagging operation, as well as utilizing our roads for detouring traffic to help traffic get through the flow. So currently we have people using Tuttle Hill to Huron River Drive and back to Textile to go around our traffic construction. So the workers are safe and the motoring public is safe as well. So, and while we do have flaggers out there, and they're out there to protect us as well as the motoring public. Some people, you may see them and you don't quite understand why they're doing what they're doing, but they're working for the contractor to work to keep everyone safe, and that's their responsibility. So we please ask your courtesy to them as well. This is my information, my email, and my phone number. Please feel free to give me a call or drop me an email. I monitor both during the course of the day. So if you have specific concerns in your area or overall, please feel free to give me a call.
Thank you, Mike. A really good overview of this resurfacing project. Appreciate the time that you spent on this, Mike, preparing this with Emma. And again, I'm Aaron Bergholtz. I'm a senior project manager here at the Road Commission. I work with Mike and provide him with assistance as he may need it, trying to support his efforts as he works on this countywide asphalt paving program. As he mentioned, a number of the projects that he'll work on this summer throughout the county are supported by the road millage. And certainly the Road Commission very much appreciates the support of the voters here in Washtenaw County in renewing that program. It really provides a good financial basis for us to improve primarily the primary county roads like Textile Road. This project, again, is unique. Mike provided the overview, and it's shown on the screen right now that we've split this project along Textile Road, along that corridor, up into segments. And we thoughtfully did that for 2 reasons. Number one, because it's a lengthy project. It's approximately 6.5 miles of milling and asphalt resurfacing. So it's a long project, and we had to be considerate of the work that Mike mentioned, that DTE Gas is upgrading some of their facilities along this stretch of Textile. And we have the work that's being performed at I'll call it the west end of Textile, down between Carpenter and Crane Road. And that's a large sanitary sewer improvement project that's being overseen by Pittsfield Township. So again, that's why we split this segment of Textile Road up into individual segments. The work is ongoing, and the timing of this meeting was not ideal. We'll admit that. We started the milling work last week, And ideally, we try to have these public meetings before the work starts. In this case, that did not happen, but the contractors that we're working with had availability and the weather cooperated. And both of those can be variable. Contractors have many demands throughout the construction season. And as we all know, Michigan weather can be very unpredictable. And so we really did not want to miss the opportunity to mill and pave the 2 segments that we're currently working on. Again, we do apologize for not having the meeting ahead of time, but it was important that we start this project because it's a significant investment in Textile Road. You may ask, why are we working on Textile Road? Because some segments of this road, I would say, were in fair condition. And the reason we're working on it is because to do the type of work we're doing, which we refer to as resurfacing, you really would do that to a road that's in fair condition for the most part. And that's when the road has not deteriorated to the point where it needs to be reconstructed. And to resurface a road, to mill off 2 inches of the existing asphalt and then replace that with new asphalt is far cheaper than allowing a road to deteriorate to the point where it has to be fully reconstructed. So that's why, in general, we try to identify roads that are in fair condition to perform the type of work that we're doing out there on Textile. Again, Mike mentions the importance of safety. We're very focused on the safety of the motorists and the safety of the crews that are working out there in the field. And part of it is we have to rely on motorists being attentive to the lane closures, to the directions that are provided by the flaggers that are on site. And so we ask that everyone be patient, that everyone be considerate of the flaggers so that all the motorists and all of the workers on site can get home safely at the end of each day. So again, appreciate everyone taking the time this morning to participate in this virtual public meeting, and all of you have a pleasant day.
Thank you, Burke and Mike. So now I'm going to take a second and show you guys how to find our website and how to sign yourself up for email updates for this project. Okay, so you're going to go to WCRoads.org, which I have up here in the search bar. Then it's going to pop up our website. You're going to see this menu bar at the top that says, gives you a bunch of different options of what you can click. You're going to want to hover your mouse over the Road Work and Construction tab, and a drop-down menu is going to pop up. You're going to want to hit Current Projects. On this page, you'll be able to see a map of Washtenaw County and all the projects that we have going on for this construction season. We have tiles and project pages for each one of our projects, and they're listed alphabetically, so you should be able to find Textile Road near the bottom. Here, it'll give you another map of exactly the project limits. It'll outline what townships it's in, what kind of traffic impacts you can expect with this project, the funding sources, as well as Mike Bernbeck's contact information if you ever need to reach out with questions or concerns. We also post the advisories as well as project updates on this page. And then the most important button is this orange subscribe yourself to project updates. If you click this, it'll take you to a form where you'll be able to enter in your own email address and sign yourself up for updates. You can get road advisories, project updates, and etc. straight to your email as soon as they're posted. Okay, now let's open the presentation up to your questions. If you are viewing the meeting from your computer, first make sure to click Join Audio. You can then raise your hand by clicking the Participants or the Reactions button at the bottom of your screen, and then the Raise Hand button at the bottom of your screen. If you dial into the meeting from your touch tone phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. As the meeting host, I will unmute participants with raised hands one at a time. I will announce your username or last 4 digits of your phone number when it's your turn to speak. We are happy to answer as many questions as possible, but please just be respectful of each other's time. If your question is answered before you are called on, you can lower your hand by clicking the lower hand button or by dialing *9. And before we go into this, I want to remind everyone, if you find yourself having questions after the meeting, or if you find that your question was not answered, be sure to enter all your contact information into the chat so that way we can take it down and we can reach out to you at a later date. Okay, so I see Ed Fetters, you have a question, and I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself in just a second. All right, you should be able to. Can you unmute yourself, Ed, to ask your question?
Yes, I'm sorry. The question is, what is the time frame, the schedule for completion on the sewage work being done between Crane and Carpenter?
My understanding from working with our permits department, they're looking to be finished with the piece of textile that they're working on by the end of August. So we would be in, we're looking to come in after Labor Day weekend, somewhere, in the September, October timeframe.
Okay.
But it all depends how they're, they're digging deep. So you can always find interesting things sometimes with such an operation.
Yes, I know. That's been a very lengthy project all the way around from Munger Road on down.
Yes, sir.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sarah B in the chat said, we are in project area number 2. The Washtenaw water engineer placed a stake painted red. We heard from a worker that there might be a culvert placed there. It's right by Ford Heritage Park. Can you confirm?
Well, the work at Ford Heritage Park is the Detroit Edison gas, one of the first, their one project. They're moving their facilities from the north side of the road to the south side of the road. So that stake was probably placed by them. We do not use red because of the misdig program. And I don't know that we're going to do any ditching in that area, but the pipes are there for Edison because they're buried. They went underneath the road. So that was their sanitary locate. That was probably put there by the sanitation department. So
she's stating that it might be orange and it was placed by a Washtenaw crew.
Oh
yeah, that's something we'd have to circle back, Emma, with our district foreman. And we certainly, if Sarah can provide her contact information, we can circle back with the district foreman, Anthony, and speak with him about it to see if it was maybe one of our crews was out there putting a stake in. Again, as Mike mentioned, to this point, really the only work that's going on there along Ford Heritage Park would be the DTE gas work. But again, we can follow up on that question from Sarah and see what we can find out about that stake, and we can certainly follow up with her.
Awesome. No okay, now I see that Erica has her hand raised, so I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself, Erica.
Okay, thank you. I hope everyone's well. So I live around in project limit number 2, and I noticed that some of my yard is missing, which is fine. It's less grass to cut. But I was just wondering if that was some eminent domain issues, like are you expanding the road at all? And also I'm noticing that the DTE gas project is also close to number 2. So what time frame are we looking at as far as completion? Not rushing things, but just trying to figure out how long this is all going to take.
Correct. The material that was in front of your house that was that was part of the berming operation we were talking about, and that is to facilitate the water running off of our new surface and getting away from the roadway for safety purposes. We are planning to come back, depending on how much we have. We'll probably be back after DTE is done and we're done to put some hydro seed grass back in to plant, get some growth in there. So as to the DTE project, we've been told they're going to be there till June, but they also got started later than what they first anticipated. So it may be into July yet before they get their work done, so that we can come back and start doing our work. So, but everything is, weather depending, and it's just how materials are available for them to do their work as well.
Okay.
So thank you.
John Wall asked a question in the chat. He said, are there any plans to add sidewalks along any of these sections that do not have sidewalks? Specifically the section between Whitaker and Hitchingham, which would connect all of the houses south of Textile to the existing sidewalks in place that go to the township facilities, shopping, and Ford Heritage Park, etc.
No, in this particular funding program was strictly for the road surface. So, and that's what we're doing, is upgrading the road surface for a new surface. But any additional work outside of the shoulders of our project, no, we're not. That's not part of our program this year.
Okay. And then I have another question in the chat from Ben Roush. They said, I may have missed this, but when do you anticipate the entire project being completed?
This fall. There's just unknowns that we're not in control of. So, but my contract runs from May to November 15th. So there's plenty of time in my contract with Cadillac to get this work done. So, but we're just waiting for the utilities to finish their upgrade work. So, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, and then I do have someone requesting in the chat that I go back to the slide that includes our work as well as the nearby work that's taking place. So here is our project that's on Textile Road, as well as the Pittsfield sanitary sewer that's being installed and the DTE gas work that's going on.
So again, that slide, Emma, what it shows is Textile Road, the portion that's in, I don't know, orange or maybe a beigeish orange. That's the portion that we're going to be resurfacing, going from Crane Road easterly down to Rawsonville Road. And then it shows the two areas there between Hitchingham Road going over to the west to Munger Road. DTE Gas has facility upgrades ongoing there, as well as the portion that's between Huron River Drive and Bridge Road. And DTE Gas is working in there as well. And then we've talked a couple times about the Pittsfield Township sanitary sewer project. Again, the work that's performed by DTE Gas and Pittsfield Township is performed under a permit from the Road Commission, because they're performing those operations inside the county road right-of-way. So we issue them a permit to allow them to do that work, but we don't have direct control over the work that they do. So the best resource to find out updates on the DTE gas work and the sanitary sewer work would be to follow up with the agencies that are responsible for those. We're certainly willing to facilitate and update, but again, we have to rely on those other entities to complete their work in a timely fashion, and they have the same challenges that we deal with. They deal with weather, they deal with contractor and material availability, so it can be tough to predict an end date because there's a lot of moving parts involved.
Thank you, Berg. I do have one more question in the chat. Will the traffic, or Anthony Griffer asked, will traffic be reduced to one lane for the duration of the project? What is the time frame for Stony Creek west to Munger?
Well, right now we're waiting for Detroit Edison to finish their work. So, like I said, it's going to be later this season. We also pick our segments such that we can get our trucks to our paver and then get the trucks back out so they can get back to the plant, which is right there at Rawsonville Road and I-94. So that, and we pick sections that, you know, from intersection to intersection. So it's a defined area, makes it easier for people to exit the project as well as get in the project if they need to be. So.
And it would be, again, we are performing the work, the milling and the paving under a flag control operation. So there would be lane closures, but we are maintaining two-way traffic. It's just that when we're performing that work in one lane and maintaining two-way traffic in the other, there's going to be delays involved. Mike, can you predict or maybe give a ballpark if the weather cooperated and we're working on the segment between Hitchingham and Munger, how long would that take to do as far as the milling and the paving? If everything falls into place with weather and with materials and equipment, I mean, are we looking at about like a week period to finish that, or how long do you think that would take?
Yeah, it would be, it'd be 4 to 5 days to do that. So
yeah.
But
so for that segment, you'd be looking at probably about 3 days to mill it, maybe about 3 days to pave it or something like that.
Yeah, probably 2 and 2.
Yeah.
With and some shoulder work maybe when we're done to address the shoulder, the aggregate shoulder. So a fairly short-lived disturbance, if you will. It really doesn't take a long time, as long as the equipment stays operational, as long as the weather cooperates, kind of those variables that are beyond our control. It really is a pretty quick operation. The mill machine, the paver, they move right along and try to perform the work in a good fashion, but also to be very efficient in the way they perform the work.
Thank you both. It looks like we got one more question in the chat from Kate Morris. My grandson attends a daycare in Section 3. Can you confirm that I will always be able to get him in and out from that facility?
Yes, you will. Actually, I ended up talking to the facilities last week as well. Well, I guess that would be in number 2. That daycare, I had spoken with them. But in phase 3, yes, you'll be able to get there. You may have to wait a moment or two so that we can, if our equipment's in the way of the driveway, but we will get you there and back. You may just have to give yourself some additional time to to navigate the flag control operation. So.
Okay, are there any more questions that anybody would like to put in the chat or raise their hand to ask?
Good.
Robert Slazar just asked in the chat, can I watch this video again later? Yes, you absolutely can access this video later. We are going to be posting a recording of this video as well as the slides from this presentation on our website. Again, if you go to our project webpage and sign up for those email subscriptions, like I showed you, you will be able to get this video as well as the slides directly to your email when it's posted. So just give us a few days and it should be up, okay? All right, if nobody has any more questions, then again, this is Mike Bernbeck's contact information if you need to reach out to him at all by email or by phone. And again, if you had any questions that were not answered during this presentation or come up with questions later, definitely feel free to reach out to him. Thank you for joining our virtual construction meeting for the Textile Road resurfacing project, and everybody have a great rest of your day. Thanks.